The radical left, Soros-backed New York State Attorney General Letitia James, a disaster.
It's that stone of hope that allows me to wake up and to stand to Donald Trump and to say, Donald Trump, I'm not afraid of you. It's that stone of hope. It's that stone of hope that gives me power. That's that stone of hope and the belief in each and every one of you to let you know that I'm not going to allow my ancestors, all of those who died for me, to be in this position. I am not going to disgrace them and disappoint them. I am going to use the law both as a sword and as a shield.
She's a sick person, but that's has nothing to do with what Pam does. Pam is going to do what's right.
We have filed charges against this Letitia James. We will hold you accountable. You're next. Get ready. It's over. It ends, and we're coming after you.
A New York appeals court has thrown out the $515 million judgment that Letitia James imposed on President Trump, calling it a violation of the Eighth Amendment, the unraveling of the weaponization of the of this entire 10 years that we've been through is starting to witness in ours. When a New York Democrat appeals court throws out something against Donald Trump, you know the abuses were bad. That just happened a few seconds ago. Let me tell you what I'm working on. There were some documents we had on your show last week. We leaned into it on your show about the leaks and all the leaks coming out of the FBI. In that memos, there was a large redacted chunk of thing that I knew to be, from my own prior reporting, something to be very significant. It's going to delve specifically about what was going on in James Comey's inner circle when it came to leaking classified information and leaking other important things. Because of the good work of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, their two sides working together, they were able to unredact or erase the redactions. And tonight we're going to be able to see for the first time how much the United States government knew about what was going on in James Comey's inner circle without creating any punishment for him or the people around him. So
this is actually going to directly tie Comey now. Comey with the head of the FBI with releasing classified information and to try to drive some narratives. Is that what you're telling me?
The memo is clearly about the leaks investigation. There was a section about James Comey that had been previously redacted. So we'll see what it says. I don't want to get ahead of my skis. I want to be fair to everybody. Let's do the reporting. But I did know, and I fought for a week to get this information redacted, and to the credit of the Attorney General, to the credit of the FBI director, who, by the way, have 1,000 other jobs like saving people in D.C. from crime and everything. They took the time to look at this. They agreed that it didn't need to be redacted, that it is important to the American public. Those documents are going to be transmitted to Congress. I think we'll know about them shortly. But there are secrets, deep secrets about the FBI and the James Comey era we still don't know about. And I think we're beginning to get a picture of what the Justice Department looked like under Jeff Sessions and Rod Rosenstein. I think there were moments of information that were available to that Justice Department, and that some of the failures of accountability don't go back to the Obama era, like the things we talked about last week, but some of them rest on the first Justice Department under Donald Trump. Case in point, this morning we have a really important story. It shows that after the FBI was turned down, not once, not twice, but 3 times for investigating corruption against Hillary Clinton's foundation, 3 years later, the IRS got contacted by whistleblowers. One of them was the DEA's, one of their top counterterrorism intelligence analysts for a long time. He actually testified at some famous post 9/11 hearings. Very decorated, very trusted all across the law enforcement community. They believe that the Clinton Foundation and other nonprofits and corporations working with them were involved in an illegal tax scheme. The IRS agents on the front lines, just like the IRS agents who were pursuing Hunter Biden right around the same time, ironically, they started building a big case, and they're working with the whistleblowers, and they're moving forward. We're even talking about treating the whistleblowers as confidential witnesses, and all of a sudden it gets shut down. Just, we can't talk about it anymore. We're done. That went on Donald Trump's tenure. First time. That's what we're starting to see.
Okay. It was August of 2023, and or maybe it was July, and I saw Trump at a Turning Point event. This is before we kind of like, I don't know, we'd made up years ago, but this one we had the first like real glad hand and chance to see each other, and it was a very nice exchange. And I spoke with his team behind the scenes, and we talked about the lawfare that he was facing. And the team made clear to me of all the criminal trials that he was facing, the thing that really had Trump stressed because it was so unfair and threatened his business to its core was this ridiculous possible indictment by Letitia James, not indictment, but civil suit that threatened to bankrupt him. And indeed, she got a hard partisan judge. She's a hard partisan, the New York State Attorney General, who ran for office promising to, quote, get Trump. And then she got a hard partisan judge, this lunatic Judge Engoron. And it was a judge trial. He had no right to a jury on it. And it didn't go his way. So this one was very important to Donald Trump. And not surprisingly, this hard partisan judge threw the book at him and entered a nearly $500 million judgment against him. It is now over $500 million with the interest that's accrued. And today it was thrown out. It's amazing. He's had to live under this for years now. Not just Donald Trump, but Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, both of whom have been pulled into this and harassed by this rabid partisan posing as an objective attorney general. It's not so fun now, is it, Tish? Now that you're on the receiving end of lawfare. Unlike Trump, however, you actually appear to have broken the law. Yeah, you deny it. Well, you'll get your day in court, too. We'll see how that plays out. She's lost completely. They've left in place some minor injunctive relief against the Trump organization. None of it's really going to matter that much because, let's face it, the Trumps are busy doing something else for the next couple of years. And the injunctive relief that she entered against, let's say, like the Suns, was basically like, you can't run this business for the next 2 years. I think they'll be fine. They actually have some other things they can do. But this was a resounding victory for Donald Trump. The entire monetary judgment has been vacated. It's been wiped out. This is a court of Democrats. There is only one Republican appointed judge. And Republican in New York parlance basically means like a late day Mitt Romney type. So for Trump to get the support of this full court is really shocking. The court's presiding judge writing that the penalty is, quote, an excessive fine that violates the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution, which is the amendment that prohibits cruel and unusual punishments. Two other judges writing that there should be a new trial entirely. Another saying the whole case should never have been allowed. And Tish James should not have brought this to begin with. She's notoriously anti-Trump, completely unethically. She ran for attorney general on the promise that she would get Donald Trump. She salivated thereafter at the prospect of seizing his buildings throughout New York. Guess what, Tish? It's not going to happen now. There is zero chance the New York State Court of Appeals, which is the highest court in New York State, is going to overturn this well-founded decision by the First Department. And so she's toast. It's done. We're officially awaiting her response to her massive kick in the ass.
We saw, Fani Willis is booted off the RICO case, and now we have Tish James, and she's got her massive judgment, which really was the thing that she wanted, because this was effectively the death penalty if it was enforced, perhaps against the Trump organization. Interestingly enough, it was grounded in the 8th Amendment, which we normally see in criminal cases. It's not that often you see that in a civil case because it prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. And under the circumstances, a Democrat Court of Appeals says this is cruel and unusual. It starts out with, of course, a case based on nothing. The banks were not defrauded. There were no actual injuries. There were no money damages that were incurred by any party in this case. This was pure partisan politics. And the appeals court has said, look, this is just doesn't wash. We don't do this. We can't punish somebody in this way. It doesn't fit the the allegations. And I do think, before all is said and done, that the appeals process will ultimately end this case in its entirety. But for now, this was a huge victory, and I think it's going to last.
That's all for today. Thank you. If you want global news to keep you up to date on any new developments, please subscribe our channel and forward our content with your friends on social media and email. Thank you very much for keep supporting me. Stay safe, be blessed. Namaste.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.